another self haircut for you. I hope you're enjoying this series of me cutting my hair and making it look okay. It's fine. I just put the hairdressers back. Part 4 of this mini series of early 2021 releases that I think are worth checking out and you guys should be checking out as well. We're still in that period where there's not a huge amount of new music coming out. Well, there is. There always is. But like, you know, there might be one big release per week that everyone's hyped for, everyone's looking for. And, you know, a lot of other releases that are coming out are pretty small, not really getting talked about. So that's why I'm carrying on this series. I wasn't sure how long to keep it going, but we're on the fourth part. Another 5 releases here for you. It's a tasty one this time, man. Some diverse array of stuff, man. There ain't 2 genres the same on this list of releases I've got here. Wait, is there? No, this is yeah, we got some new shit. Got some African music for you for the first recommendation. There was a time where I was touching on loads of different African genres and different styles coming out of the continent of Africa. It can sometimes be a bit of a broad term to just call something African or something is influenced by African. You always get it as well where there's like some pretentious music critic making an article on Pitchfork or some website about how there's a Western band ripping off and culturally appropriating African music, and it's like, name one genre from Africa. It's a continent of like God knows how many countries. Name a genre. Tell me. Come on. You think you know it all. You're from like a random village in bloody Bradford or some shit. You don't know any genres from Africa, so stop. So I wanted to attempt to break the music critic curse because there aren't really many music critics out there touching on anything from any African country. So I wanted to break that, but I've fallen off my perch as of late. I haven't touched on much from any genres in Africa for a little while. Shout out Ricky though, Ricky Lie. He's been pretty good at keeping on top of some cool stuff. But I want to start with Alostmen, which is a Ghanaian band, and they create a genre of music called Akan music. It's a genre of music that takes ideas from the oldest traditions of West African music, particularly Ghana and Ivory Coast. It uses polyrhythmic structures that has always been a part of many African genres for forever basically. Honestly, really complex rhythms that they come up with here. The vocals very shouty, also use like the call and response thing that you would find in some very traditional African songs. It's very lively, it's very danceable, it's a really fun ride from start to finish. Honestly, there's some really energetic moments that I think would capture you, and you'd be all over this thing because you just have to listen and catch those danceable rhythms and grooves and you'll be locked in. Definitely another genre of music that I've now discovered from Africa, or you know, parts of Africa, regions of Africa that I want to delve into more of and find out more bands and artists that do this style because it sounds pretty damn fresh. Next I want to mention Slick Shoota, who is a footwork juke artist, a genre again that doesn't get enough credit really. There's loads of great artists doing this style, sorry. Really cool stuff here. Really fiery and in your face. I think there could be potential for people to find this a bit annoying at times. I do think it almost tires out a little bit by the end, but I still think the tracks are really fun and just so energetic and absolutely bonkers in places, really. It reminds me of their most recent Bauer album, which was just such an absolute bombastic, ridiculous mess, but in the best kind of way too, where it's just a complete mess and you're just like really good stuff from Slick Shoota there though. I want to mention VanJess next though. VanJess, I mean, look, if we're talking like R&B duos that deserve a lot of attention, why aren't they getting a lot of attention? I don't get it. I mean, if Chloe and Hal can break through and get a lot of respect over the past couple of years, I don't see why VanJess can't either, because they're putting out equally as good music. The track with K Tronada, oof, my god, if you want to just dance the hell out of your bum. I don't know what that means, but if you just want to dance, put on the track with Kaytranada. Oh, for the groove on this one. Ew. Many of the other tracks are typical R&B jams, quite sultry, quite sexy at points, quite sensual, but they do come through with some really, really killer grooves on some of these tracks, and it's a great amount of fun. Like I say, that Kaytranada track is absolutely fantastic, and no surprise really, Kaytranada is fantastic on production. So listen, VanJess, you're not going to watch this video obviously, because why would you, but VanJess, let's just pretend you're watching. Do a full album with Kaytranada. Do it. Kaytranada, you're not watching either, but let's pretend you are. Kaytranada, do a full album with VanJess. Do it. Next I want to mention Zutomayo, which was something I did want to do a full review of, but I must admit it's not as gripping as their debut. I did a video on their debut, which is in the Undiscovered Gems series, which if you haven't watched, you should go watch, by the way, because Zutomayo's first album is stellar, absolutely stellar. The tracks are so good. They were so well produced. The vocalist has so much energy, so much charisma. She's a fantastic singer. The instrumentals are great. Honestly, if you just want some fantastic like J-pop, J-rock music, listen to this. And the thing with that debut, which I think has hindered this experience here for me, was that they did a similar thing with the debut and this album, where they had an EP with plenty of the tracks that made it onto the album before they then, you know, put out the album. They were already out there as an EP, then they put out the album, the tracks made it onto the album. And I didn't know Zutomayo before I'd heard the album, so I never heard that first EP. So I'm thinking what's happened here is that, you know, the Zutomayo EP was on my best EPs of last year, my best EPs of 2020. And I'm wondering if it's because I've heard that first and heard most of the tracks that landed on this album first, it's watered down my expectations a bit, because they ended up being easily the best songs, and the rest of this album typically goes for more slower tracks, more ballady type tracks, and I've got to say some of the tracks aren't as enamoring as I'd want them to be for what they're going for. But the reason why I want to mention it in this video is because, again, I think my expectations for what I wanted from the band have just not been met. But if you're a first-time listener, I think you could actually get a lot out of this. That's not to say it's not getting a full recommendation from me. It really is. I do want people to check this out. I'm just speaking from my own personal experience here with what's happened. But please listen to their debut. If you can listen to anything, listen to their debut, then listen to this. And I think you'll fall in love with what they're going for, because I think they do have a huge amount of appeal, and definitely one of the most exciting bands around at the moment, because like I say, the vocalist is very, very charismatic and full of life. The tracks have fantastic drumming performances. I think the drumming might take the spotlight on many of their tracks, to be honest. The drumming is fantastic. But yeah, really fun, really bouncy. Check them out. I want to end off with Lia Ices, who is a beautiful singer. Honestly, there's really nothing else to say about her voice other than beautiful. She has an angelic voice that I think you could fall in love with. The beauty in the production, it's somewhere between like a chamber pop realm mixed in with some like contemporary folk or maybe even some country music at points. Really, really nice blend of genres coming through here. Sort of like that Weather Station album, where the blend of ideas just come and create such a wonderful atmosphere. And paired with her voice, honestly, if you're a Julia Holter fan, I think you'd get a lot out of this. If you've ever listened to anything from Laura Nyro, I also think you could get something out of this as well. Really gorgeous melodies coming through on all of these tracks, and I'm impressed. I'm super impressed with this. Seriously, really good stuff here, and another artist I think needs more attention at the moment, which is exactly why I do this little series to begin with anyway. So there we go. That's 5 releases once again of this part 4 of the series of early releases that you should be checking out. You should be listening to these, and I hope you get something out of it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. That would be great. Tell me some albums I've missed, or EPs I've missed actually, and I might be able to get onto them, check them out, maybe review them if they are worthwhile. Whatever you want to do, tell me your thoughts if you've listened to any of these. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed, do subscribe, and